All right, Shalom. Let's check the feed. Bear with me 1 second. Try to warn you, Jakes, man. Spirit of the Lord, you know. All right, we live. Let's get right to it.
Wake this the fuck up. The 14th Amendment and ending birthright citizenship does not just affect recent immigrants to this country. It does not just affect first and second generation immigrants to this country. The 14th Amendment is the amendment that gave Black people citizenship and equal rights and equal protection under the law. The 14th Amendment is what makes the language of the Dred Scott decision null and void. And if you are confused about the language of the Dred Scott decision, the most important part to you as a Black person is that it states to institute racial integrity codes. Once these two things are done away with, there is absolutely nothing stopping them.
Man, Lord willing, you were able to hear that. All right. Hey, Shalom. Shalom, Shalom. Before I get started, bear with me. Computer's moving a little slow. Salakia. Hold on 1 second. All right, Shalom. Before I get started with this live lesson, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahushai, B'Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who taught me this truth. And double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring, the house of David, the elect, that's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect. Back at you with another live lesson through the Holy Spirit. Pray that this lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect, news and prophecy, Trump deportations, and the incoming wrath against you tribes, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and Hispanics. Right? And we tried to warn you, man. All right, you niggas got comfortable. You thought you were an American, right? Thought you were one of them. And these devils are showing you how they really feel about you, man. All right. And I got a few scriptures and a couple articles here, man, because hey, shit is getting hectic. All right. And what the Lord is doing, as I said before, he's taking away all the comfort from you Jakes. All right, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and Hispanics. Right. And real quick, before we even jump into everything, let me grab this scripture. Because like I said, hey, the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, okay, is using Esau to show you that he hates your ass. All right. And it's just not the northern kingdom, the so-called Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, it's all the tribes, you Negroes included. Okay. Everybody's about to get this work. All right. Anyway, just want to read this real quick before we get into it. And this lesson should be short. I don't think it'll be too long, but I just wanted to just kind of put what's going on right now, what's in the news, the video clips that are out there right now. And these Edomites are on a rampage, man. All right. But anyway, this is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 1. And it reads, it says, moreover, the word of the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. And Mount Seir today would be Babylon, America. Okay. And we're prophesying the downfall of Mount Seir, all right, which is America in the spirit. Okay. It says, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh Shemel Shai, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. All right. And the Lord is going to do that. This is prophecy going into the fact of how the Lord is going to bring destruction to Mount Seir, aka America. Okay, via nuclear destruction. It says, verse 4, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Verse 5, the point. Ezekiel 35 and 5, it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Now, what I was saying, the Edomite, the biblical Edomite, the so-called, the self-proclaimed white race, all right, every day they're showing you their perpetual hatred that they have towards you. All right, that word perpetual goes back to everlasting, long going. Okay, this hatred goes back from the beginning. All right, going back to the time of Esau and Jacob being born. Hell, even beyond that, going back to Cain, Abel. Okay, this is an ancient hatred that these Edomites have for you. All right, it goes beyond, being a so-called black person, brown person, or whatnot. This is spiritual. All right, and Esau is getting ready to show you on a whole nother level. All right. Ezekiel 35 and 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, Yahweh Shem Shai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Right. So since you shed the blood of the children of Israel, your blood has to be shed. Okay, this is what the Lord said. All right. Verse 7, it says, we'll finish it out. Verse 7, it says, thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and in thy hills and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers they shall fall that are slain with the sword. Right. And that's really, as we're approaching this time of nuclear war. All right. As I posted a lesson going into the revenge of Edom. All right. Where you had those Amalekites pretty much, their own tongues falling on themselves, man. And what did they want? The main thing that the Edomites said at the beginning is that the West, pretty much America, was going to lose the war. And they was pretty much scoffing at it, making mockery. Right. And these are the same devils. All right. That's taking all your money, your taxpayer money, man, that you funnel billions to every year. Right. The irony. Right. But anyway, verse 9, it says, I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return. All right. And that's the spirit that's being pushed now, restoring America, make America great again. And that's what we told. And that's what we told you Israelites, man. All right. When these devils were talking about, making America great again, it didn't include you niggas. Right. And you're going to learn that now. It says, and I will make perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right. So let's get back to it. All right. Because, hey, this thing, as we've been warning you week in, week out, all over the internet, these videos, the sit downs, we've been preparing the spirits of you Israelites to prepare to go through the straight gate, man. All right. It's called Jacob's trouble for a reason. All right. This is from the ACLU I just want to read the headline here. It says Trump promises to militarize police. All right. Remember, he said this, I want to say, was it sometime last year, that he wanted to give the police immunity. All right. So you know what that means. All right. He's getting ready. See, the Spirit of the Lord is going to give the Assyrian, which we're going to get that. All right. Like it says, he's going to give the Assyrian the charge. All right. To tread you Jakes down in the streets. We'll get that in a little bit, though. But it says Trump promises to militarize police, re-incarcerate thousands, and expand the death penalty. All right. So since he's touched ground in office again, he's been rolling. All right. Which brought me to this. We'll read this and grab some scriptures real quick because I got some other videos I wanted to play. Right. But he's signing all types of legislations and executive orders that's really going to hurt you Israelites. And that's why I said that the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, is removing the comfort that you niggas thought you had here, man. Right? Niggas for Trump, Latinos for Trump, Mexicans for Trump, and all you niggas are looking stupid right now. All right? Because this is what these administrative orders and executive orders that are being signed is going to affect all the tribes, man. You see, as we played in the beginning of the video. All right. It's going to affect you, you so-called Negroes too. You Judites. All right, because you got Judah on the internet talking shit. Yeah, this is what you so-called Latinos getting, this and that, and we're not gonna have your back, and don't come running to us for help. But shit, everybody's gonna be caught up into this whirlwind, man. All you tribes. You see? But anyway, getting back to the point, right? That comfort, the Lord is taking that shit away. Let me get that too before we go back to the article. This is Amos 6:1. And it reads, it says, woe to them that are at ease in Zion. All right. The Lord is talking about you Israelites that are at ease. All right. Let's get that word for ease as we always bring it out. See, you niggas thought shit was sweet. Right. Woe unto them that are at ease in Zion. All right. That word ease, quiet, secure, at ease, careless, wanton, arrogant. Right. You were proud. Right. You thought Trump had your best interest. He's gonna change things around for us, right? You about to see a complete, like Priest Amawan said, you're gonna see a complete 180, all right, of this man. He's about to show you his true colors. You about to see the horns come out this devil. Hell, you seeing it now. It says at ease, careless, wanton, arrogant, security, pride, arrogance, and that's the spirit. All you Jakes, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and Hispanics, you were in your security, you were in your pride. All right. You thought this man was really for your ass, right? Only to find out that that's clearly not the case, right? So I want to just, read this real quick and jump to the videos as well, more scriptures, but this is from the Time magazine. It says, what is the DEI and what challenges does it face amid Trump's executive orders, right? Let's just read down a little bit. All right. Let's get to the point. Okay, so it says when President Donald Trump returned to the White House, one of his first actions as the nation's leader included beginning to dismantle and disrupt diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) efforts at the federal level, right? And I remember before he got into the office, I remember there was a lot of jakes that worked, on the corporate level, on the federal level within the government. They were all nervous and shit, because there was no telling what was going to happen. Right. And like we said before, you think, you jakes that work on the federal level and the corporate level, you think that, you being micromanaged now, you think that, Esau is on your head now. Hey, how much more now with these executive orders? All right. You really about to see the true devils come out of these Edomites on a corporate level, on a federal level. Believe that. All right. You thought you was uncomfortable now. This is the same day he took office, January 20th, Trump signed an executive order titled Ending Radical and Wasteful Government DEI Programs in Preferences. So he said, he's saying that these programs that was supposed to benefit and help Jake, basically, get through society, if you will, it was wasteful. All right. Check that out. Shows you how he really feels about y'all. It says, and he then directed that all federal DEI staff be placed on paid leave, eventually laid off. Check that out. Let's jump down some more. It says in a separate executive order on January 21st, titled "Ending All Illegal Discrimination and Restoring Merit-Based Opportunity," and this is what he said in the speech. All right, when he was at the Davos a few days ago. Right, it says Trump targeted DEI again and also revoked a slew of executive orders from the past 50 years, which attempted to increase diversity and address discrimination, including several executive orders that were issued to strengthen or expand the Equal Employment Opportunity Act. So Trump said, "The hell with all of that shit." Right? Let's go down. I'll read a little bit more. All right. So it says, what is DEI? Diversity, equity, and inclusion programs can take many forms, but they generally describe efforts to increase access and remove barriers from things like higher education and jobs for those from diverse socioeconomic backgrounds, races, and genders. Right. So pretty much they want to keep everything. They want to keep everything white. All right. The hell with some diversity. All right. Racial inclusion and all of that shit. He said, look, we done with that. All right. And we told you this for years, man. When they kept banging on you with this "Make America Great Again," what the fuck you think they was talking about, man? You Jakes thought you was included in that? All right. When they talked about making America great again, they were talking about the golden age, the shit that Trump was talking about. You know, the golden age when Jake was being hung, set on fire. All right. That's when that's the "Make America Great Again" that these Edomites are talking about. When they had their foot on your neck. It says the origins of the DIE efforts in federal government can be traced back to the Civil Rights Act of 1964, in which, among other things, discrimination in employment based on race, religion, sex, color, and origin were outlawed. President Lyndon B. Johnson issued Executive Order 11246 the next year, which barred discrimination in federal employment and require the government to take affirmative action to ensure that applicants are employed and employees are treated during employment without regard to race, creed, color, or national origins. But that's about to change, is the point. And we'll finish out these last two paragraphs. It says, Trump has now revoked this executive action, stating that critical and influential institutions of American society have adopted and actively use dangerous, demeaning, and immoral race and sex-based preferences under the guise of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion. Right. So the point is that, all of this, what they call what's the word? Progressivism, wokeism. Right. You niggas was tied all into that. Remember, they merged, the alphabetical agenda with the plight of you Jakes. All right. So basically he's saying that, the weirdos and you Jakes are responsible for pretty much bringing America down. And this is why once he got into office, he's like, look, I'm changing all of this. Right. So in the lack of better words, you Jakes are the reason why America is pretty much fallen, if you will. How the moral standard is dropped. The integrity and all of that stuff, this progressive wokeism bullshit, in the lack of better words. It says in 2021, Biden continued Johnson's legacy with an executive order of his own titled Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Accessibility in the Federal Workforce, which worked to promote equal opportunity and define each term. Diversity focused on representation, equity focused on fairness and impartiality, and inclusion relates to a sense of belonging and value no matter what an employee's background, man. So Jake is about to catch pure fucking hell, right? You're going to see that this place was never for you. Real quick, let me get this too. Just thinking out loud, right? All that comfort is gone, all right? You're going to realize that you're not equal, that you're not the same, All right. Isaiah 31:1, it says, in spiritual, help in Egypt, but not in the Most High. And that's Jake all day. Right. Isaiah 31:1, it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And that's you Israelites, it's you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, Hispanics. Right now, you're seeing the trust and faith that you had in America, Egypt, is blowing right back in your damn face. All right. These devils are ready to get rid of you. They're ready to come down on you, upon you, with that great wrath pursuant to Revelation 12:12. All right. He's getting ready to fully express his hatred. Right. One more real quick. Isaiah 30, got to get that too. Isaiah 30:1, it says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that take counsel, but not of me, and the covering with a covering, but not of my spirit. Right. You didn't cover yourself in American politics. All right. Trusting in politicians and these presidents, you know, believing the shit that you see on TV, right? Thinking that you know, you're equal, you're an American, right? You cover yourself with a covering, but not of the Lord's spirit, that they may ask in the sin. And this is why you Jakes are getting ready to catch pure hell. Right? You were warned, man. All right. All these lessons, all these videos that are going out that are teaching our people to repent, to come back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, to detach your mind and spirit from this place. But you Jakes, you rebellious niggas can just continue to not to listen. Right? It says, the point, verse 2, it says, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. The point, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion, man. Now look at you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and Hispanics. All right, all of these executive decrees, these orders that are being signed, all right, that are all set up to pretty much come against you, to hurt you. All right, so that's what the Lord is doing. He's removing, again, as I said earlier, he's removing the comfort, man. All right, all that comfort and security you had is out the fucking window. All right, and this guy Trump is not playing. Nero is not playing. All right, let's get into the video real quick. All right, because this guy, what's his name, Tom Hammond, he coming, man. All right, this is from the Breitbart.com. It says, Hammond, deportations will increase. Anyone here illegally is on the table. All right, they're coming after everybody.
Military on the border, not only helping us with departure flights on military planes, but they're helping to build infrastructure. They're putting up Constantino wire. They're down there to create a secure border and lock that border down. And DOD's helped administrations before, but not at this level. So it's a force multiplier, and it's sending a strong signal to the world. Our border's closed.
So is this what we will see every single day, ending in what the president has promised is millions and millions being deported?
Deportations every day. All right, nonstop on your block, man. This devil not playing. All right.
Yes, but you're going to see the number steadily increase, the number of arrests nationwide as we open up the aperture. Right now, it's concentrating public safety threats, national security threats. That's a smaller population. So we're going to do this on priority base, as President Trump's promised. But as that aperture opens, there'll be more arrests nationwide.
When you talk about the aperture opening, the estimates of perhaps those who have been convicted or arrested in the past, 700,000 to over 1 million. So after you do that, then you go after everybody who is there illegally.
If you're in the country illegally, you're on the table, because it's not okay to violate laws of this country. You got to remember, every time you enter this country illegally, you violated a crime under Title 8, United States Code 1325. It's a crime. So if you're in the country illegally, you got a problem. And that's why I'm hoping those who are in the country illegally, who have not been ordered removed by the federal judge, should leave.
While you are emphasizing that you go after national security threats, you have said no one's off the table. If you're in the country illegally, you better be looking over your shoulder. You should be afraid and start packing now. Is that what you're doing to get hotel workers out or people working on farms, that they'll be so scared they just leave?
Look, yeah, I think if you're in the country legally, it's not okay. It's not okay to violate laws of this country. We have millions of people standing in line, taking the test, doing their background investigation, paying the fees that want to come in the right way.
Let's talk about the arrests so far. Numbers released the first day were over 500, and there.
And this just hit me too. I'm just thinking about it. When Biden, let all these so-called, migrants into the country, when shit starts happening, different types of false flags, more shootings, more crime, and all this stuff goes on, this is going to tie perfectly into that narrative. You see what I'm saying? This is why we got to get them out the country. They're the problem, the whole thing. So you can see this was all designed to go down this way. All right. They just didn't let these so-called illegals in for no reason. Remember, they had agents, war criminals, spies, sleeper cells from different countries, Russia, China, everywhere that had just entered into the land. All right. So this is the perfect recipe for disaster. All right. If they decide, to pull something off,
There were reports that one was a suspected terrorist, others were gang members. Were all of the people who were arrested on day one, as far as you know, convicted criminals or those who had been arrested before?
No. And let me explain that. There are collateral arrests. Where do collateral arrests happen? Sanctuary cities. And this is important we understand that. Sanctuary cities lock us out of the jails. So instead of ICE being able to arrest the bad guy, the criminal alien, in the safety and security of a jail where the officer's safe, the alien's safe, and the public's safe, sanctuary cities release them back in the community, which endangers the community, putting the criminal alien back in the community. But when we find him, he's going to be with others, most likely. Many times they're with others. If they're in the country legally, they're coming too.
But were these arrests all in sanctuary cities? It doesn't appear so on the first day.
The collaterals, many more. I don't have the exact breakdown, but again,
so the arrests in
cities,
Massachusetts, in Chelsea, Massachusetts, which the governor said it's great to arrest the criminals who have been convicted, but were there people taken there as well who were not convicted? Were
sure
they, as you say, collaterals?
I'm sure they are.
You talk about these numbers expanding.
Yeah, there's going to be people that's not considered migrants and illegal aliens that's going to get snatched up too, right? Remember, hey, Trump is giving these devils the green light to just have their way, pretty much.
500 the first day. What do you think you can get up to?
As many as we can get. As many.
What can happen at this point, given your manpower?
Look, I think we're in the beginning stages. We're bringing more resources into this operation. As a whole of government, we're going to have DOJ assisting us, and like the DOD piece, helping build infrastructure, helping with the transportation. That takes ICE, badges and guns out of those duties and puts them on the street.
I want to go back to who you're deporting. Aside from the long list of executive actions, the administration said it will no longer tell ICE agents they have to avoid sensitive locations, including schools, hospitals, churches. Benjamin Huffman, the acting home.
So these agents are going to run up everywhere: schools, apartments, hospitals. Remember, hey, this is the man of no mercy.
Homeland Security Secretary said in a statement, criminals will no longer be able to hide in America's schools and churches to avoid arrest. What criminals are?
Woo, see this? Hey, we told y'all, man. All right, this is the devil's great wrath. All right, y'all thought shit was sweet. You thought this wasn't gonna happen. He would never do nothing like that. All right, let me grab this as I spoke about it earlier. All right, and we'll go back and play the rest of that in another video too. All right, this is Isaiah. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10 and verse 1, and it reads, oh, look at the header. It says Assyria is God's instrument. All right, which we're going to prove that in verse 5. Isaiah 10 and 1, it says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. All right, going back to pretty much all of these executive orders that Trump is signing into play. These different things that he's getting rid of and all of that. And this is all for the harm of you tribes. It's not for your benefit, right? It says, going back, Isaiah 10:2, it says to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people. You see that? That's the spirit. All right. These executive decrees were set up to take away the right of the poor from my people. It's talking about you Israelites. Right? You're going to see that you're really not free. You really don't have sovereignty. All right. That you're not equal. All right. It says that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. Right. And this is what he's doing through these decrees. Let's jump down to verse 5. The point. Isaiah 10:5, it says, O Assyrian, the rod of my anger. See that? And the Assyrian of today would be Esau. Okay. The so-called white man. O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, and the staff in their hand is my indignation. So the wrath that's going forth is really the Lord. All right. The Lord is coming against you, Jakes, that put your trust in Egypt, that thought you had it made here, that thought things were going to get better for you. Right? Verse 6, I will send him, excuse me, it says, I will send him against a hypocritical nation. That's you Israelites. And against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge. You see that? So that's what's going on now with these deportations. All right. And these different laws and executive decrees. All right. He's been given a charge to do what? To take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them like the mire in the streets. You see that? So Trump is ready to get active. He's on a rampage right now. He said he was going to use the highest extent of the law to get these deportations done. All right. He's sending military troops down to the border. All of this is happening as we speak, man. This is the charge that the Lord has given him. Right? Let's see what that says in NLT real quick. We'll go back to the video. Let's get that real quick. Isaiah 10:6 in the NLT. It says, I am sending Assyria against a godless nation, against the people with whom I am angry. Assyria will plunder them, trampling them like dirt beneath his feet. Man. And you hear this guy, Tom Hammer, you see his countenance, you see what he's saying. All right. These Edomites are not, they coming with the shit. Right. We'll play a little bit more and we'll go to the next video. Right. But this is prophecy being fulfilled.
They're hiding in schools,
Look,
middle schools, elementary schools. You going to go into those?
how many MS-13 members are the age of 14 to 17? Many of them. So look, if it's a national security threat, public safety threat, and what you need to understand is a case by case. Name another agency, another law enforcement agency that has those type of requirements that they can't walk into a school or a doctor's office or a medical campus. No other agencies have those standards. These are well-trained officers with a lot of discretion. And when it comes to sensitive location, there's still going to be supervisory review. So it's not like it's an open issue. But ICE officers should have discretion to decide if a national security threat or a public safety threat's in one of these facilities, then there should be an option for them to make the arrest.
But someday you could go into those schools and grab people who are just in the country illegally.
On a case-by-case basis, depending who they are, what the circumstances are. It's never a zero game.
You know that this creates fear in the immigrant community. The chair of the U.S. Conference of Bishops.
Salaki, I got to get that. Hey, it's called Jacob's Trouble for a reason. I got to get that because she said this brings forth fear, right? And maybe think about that. Jeremiah 30:4, and it reads, it says, and these are the words that the Lord Yahweh Shemawashah spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. All right, all 12 tribes, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and Hispanics. The point, verse 5, it says, for thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shemawashah, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. All right, everything that's being detailed in this video. All right, they're gonna run up in churches, houses, apartments, schools, hospitals. This man don't give a damn. All right. The point, verse 6, ask ye now and see whether a man do travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, As a woman in travail and all faces are turned into paleness. Verse 7, the point, it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And that he representing the elect. All right. But we're definitely entering into the time of Jacob's trouble. All right. Please believe that. And it's only going to get worse. Like he said, going back to the article clip, he said that home and deportations will increase. Anyone here illegally is on the table. All right. It's only going to get worse. Let's finish it out.
Committee said turning places of care, healing, and solace into places of fear and uncertainty for those in need while endangering the trust between pastors, providers, educators, and the people they serve will not make our communities safer.
Well, look, here's I think, if Congress has a job to do, we're enforcing the laws Congress enacted and the president signed. If they don't like it, change the law. I find it hard to believe any member of Congress is telling us not to enforce the law that they enacted and they fund us to do.
But opening up to anyone who's in the country illegally and going into schools and grabbing them, does that, kids, adults?
The message needs to be clear. There's consequences for entering the country illegally. If we don't show there's consequences, you're never going to fix the border problem.
Estimates are that there are 11 million undocumented immigrants in this country right now. How can you possibly afford to deport all of those people?
Well, I'll leave it up to Congress. I think Congress, the president has a mandate. This was number one issue that people voted on. I think Congress has a mandate to give us money we need. What price you put on national security?
More
What
detention
price,
centers?
what price you put on? What price you put on all these young ladies have been raped and murdered and burned alive? What price you put on that? What price you put on Lincoln Riley's life? What price you put on national security? Like I just explained, when you have a surge like this, we don't secure that border. That's when national security threats enter the country. That's when sex trafficking goes up. That's when the fentanyl comes in that kills 250,000 Americans. I don't put a price in that.
And on those detention centers, do you need more beds? I think there's
Absolutely.
41,000 now, 100,000. So where do you get those beds? Do you build more camps? Do you do this military installations in Texas and elsewhere?
A little bit of everything. We can build Southside facilities. We can expand our contracts to outside contractors. So yeah, we're going to need more ICE beds, a minimum of 100,000. Congress needs to come to the table.
Yeah, real quick, they're talking about the camps. We told you, concentration camps, aka detention centers. All right, they've been had this shit set up. Let me get that too. Salaki for keep stopping, but it's just she's saying a lot of stuff, right? Because I have brought this out in the lesson before too. All right, it's from the Brownstone Institute. All right, it says CDC plan quarantine camps nationwide. All right, so they've been had this in effect. All right, especially now they're talking about all these different diseases and viruses popping up, right? But is there a point I want to grab in here real quick? It says, yeah, here we go. It says, in other words, this is what is used to be concentration camps. It says, who are these people who will be rounded up? It says they are older adults and people of any age who have serious underlying medical conditions. Who determines this? Public health authorities. The purpose, the CDC explains, physically separating high-risk individuals from the general population allows authorities to prioritize the use of limited available resources, man. So this stuff has been here, man. Right? And you see what they doing to Issachar or whatnot down at the border. They got them in them detention centers. They, got them wrapped up in fucking aluminum foil. Right? Got them in there like dogs, man. Right? And these devils don't give a fuck. Right? Let's finish it out. Salaki for keep stopping. Right?
Quick and give us the money we need to secure that border.
Let's talk about those flights again. With the host countries, you flew all of those people back. Were all of the people arrested on the first day, for instance, repatriated? And what about those countries that won't take them back?
Oh, they'll take them back.
What do you mean by that?
We got President Trump coming to power. President Trump puts America first. Mexico didn't want to remain in the Mexico program. Under the first administration, they did it. They didn't want to put military in the southern border. They did it.
How do you convince them?
El Salvador didn't want to take MS-13 members back. Took President Trump 48 hours to make that happen. President Trump's going to put America first. And if it doesn't, then we'll place my third safe country.
All appointments to the CBP app have been canceled. that is a legal way to claim asylum and get in the country. So what should people do who are seeking asylum? How do you do it?
All right, so yeah, that's the point. Let's play this one, and that'd pretty much be it, man. Just wanted to put this out here real quick. All right, this came out about 4 hours ago. Some Fox News, about 8 minutes long. It says, breaking ICE announces 1,200 plus migrant arrests in weekend raids. Man.
Thanks, guys. Well, the crackdown is coming into focus under President Trump's direction. ICE is racking up thousands of arrests, and this as we enter week 2 of Trump 2.0. Good morning. I'm Dana Perino. Bill is off today. Good morning, Sandra.
It's great to be with you, Dana. Thanks for having me. I'm Sandra Smith. This is America's Newsroom. It was a busy weekend for sure for ICE, the agency arresting nearly 300 illegal immigrants on Saturday alone and nearly 1,000 on Sunday. ICE also lodging nearly 800 detainers, which means there is probable cause to deport. And according to border czar Tom Homan, this is only the beginning.
Yes, but you're going to see the number steadily increase, the number of arrests nationwide as we open up the aperture. Right now it's concentrating public safety threats, national security threats. That's a smaller population. So we're going to do this on priority base as President Trump's promised, but as that aperture opens, there'll be more arrests nationwide.
And we are getting a look at how these deportations are being carried out. You can see agents loading criminal migrants onto a military plane there, the flight bound for their country of origin.
One South American leader tried to turn away those flights, but he quickly reversed that policy after a fierce response from President Trump. We have more on that as we go to Peter Doocy. He's live at the White House for us. What a weekend it was, Peter.
And Sandra, this weekend, for a few hours at least, the Colombian president was really dug in against President Trump, and he was explaining in public why Colombia was not going to accept 2 U.S. military planes full of Colombians who had entered the United States illegally. The president said at one point, the U.S. cannot treat Colombian migrants as criminals. I deny the entry of American planes carrying Colombian migrants into our territory. The United States must establish a protocol for the dignified treatment of migrants before we receive them. But then came a 25% tariff threat that would rise to 50% after a week, and suddenly 180 degrees different. Part of the news statement said this: the president provides a presidential plane for the dignified return of his fellow citizens and will lead efforts at the Extraordinary Assembly of CELAC. Caroline Leavitt, the new press secretary, said in part the fully drafted IEEPA tariffs and sanctions will be held in reserve and not signed unless Colombia fails to honor this agreement. The visa sanctions issued by the State Department and enhanced inspections from Customs and Border Protection will remain in effect until the first plane load of Colombian deportees is successfully returned. The new president wants to deport people back to their countries of origin. These tariff threats are a way to try to keep that process moving, and that's not going to stop.
If you have a person who is convicted of a violent crime, whether they're an illegal immigrant or a non-illegal immigrant, you have to go and get that person to protect the public safety. That's not unique to immigration.
President Trump wakes up at Trump Doral in Miami today. Later on, a couple hours from now, he is going to huddle with House Republicans there to try to figure out what exactly they can and cannot stuff into this, what they call a big, beautiful spending bill. Sandra.
No slowing down in sight. Peter Doocy live at the White House for us. Peter, thank you. Dana?
Let's bring in former acting ICE director Jonathan Fahey. Want to show everybody the cover of the New York Post this morning. New tariff in town, which of course they're.
Let me get the scripture real quick. I was thinking about that in Psalm, the 10th chapter. Just kind of dealing with the spirit of Esau, right? So this is let's go to Psalm, the 10th chapter, and read start at verse 4. All right, so this is Psalm 10 and 4. It says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance, all right? When we watch these videos, you see how proud these Edomites are, man. All right, it's just oozing out these niggas, all right? The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts, right? Because these Edomites, they don't fear the Lord. All right. It says, verse 5, his ways are always grievous, right? His ways are always grievous, thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them, right? Because, really, Esau is ruling over Jake. All right. Esau got the power over Jake. All right. We're still in captivity. We're still in a slavery underneath this man. All right. So, like I said, it says, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. All right. And this is pretty much what Esau's doing in the spirit. All right. He's puffing at Jake, talking shit. Now America is ours. Now things are gonna go back how they used to be. That's kind of been like the spirit. Now we got you niggas. Right. It says, verse 6. It says, he have said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I should never be in adversity. Right. And that's the spirit of Esau, that he'll never see adversity. He'll never fall. He'll never be moved. It says, verse 7, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. All right. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Right. And this is the pretty much the MO of the Edomite, man. Everything that he pushes is deceit and fraud, wickedness, violence. Verse 8, it says he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doeth he murder the innocent, his eyes are privily set against the poor. This is what we're seeing with these deportations, man. Now Esau's out on the hunt. All right. They said every day they're going to go out and arrest people, man. Lock them up. Like you said, they're going into the schools, they're going into the hospitals, the apartments, the churches. All right. Wherever you at, that's where he going to be at. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, and in secret places do he murder the innocent, and his eyes are privily set against the poor. Who's the poor? You Israelites. Verse 9, it says, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. Is that not what we're seeing right now? He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. Come on, man. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. And what's the net? What's the trap? All right, these legislations and decrees that are being passed. Okay, which is giving Esau the green light to come after Jake, to have their way. Because remember, as I said earlier, if I can go back to it, let me see if I can find it, and we'll go back to the video. Bear with me real quick, because there was an article that I had brought out before about Trump giving the police the immunity. I want to pull that back up. Bear with me 1 second. I want to see if I can grab that article. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. It was a police immunity. Let's see if I can pull it up. Let's see. Bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna find it. I had it just pulled up in the tab. And we'll go back to the video. Just give me 1 second. Where was it at? Let's see. Here we go. I got it right here. Let's pull it up. So I had brought this out in a previous lesson, going into the same topic, dealing with the deportations and things like that. This is from reason.com. It says Trump promises to give police immunity from prosecution. It says the pledge, while mostly legally illiterate, offers a reminder of the former president's outlook on government accountability. All right. So you got to understand the mind that's going to be on these devils, man. All right. Pretty much they've been given free reign. All right. To do what they want to do in the name of the law. All right. So you seeing Jake, getting gunned down on camera, how much more now, all right, as these decrees are passed. All right. Police have immunity. All right. You getting ready to see the true devil come out of these Edomites, man. This is what we're trying to tell y'all, man. This shit is not a game. Okay. Let's go back and finish it out. right? Salaki if I'm ranting. I just wanted to pull that out.
100 for 100 when it comes to great headlines. But that was quite an amazing thing yesterday to have the Colombian president try to defy President Trump and then basically cave so badly that he was offering his own plane.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. It just really shows we have new leadership in town. And I think these countries are going to realize they're going to break out into two categories. One is going to be countries that cooperate, and the other one is going to be countries that wish they did, because he's going to make it so painful for them that it's not going to be worth it for them. So hopefully most of them will fall in the former category and cooperate, because it's not worth it for them. And there's no reason for them not to be taking their citizens back. But it really just shows a stark contrast between the new leadership and the previous leadership, which seemed to view weakness as somehow virtuous for America and always putting America last. These are people in most cases that are criminals that need to be removed from our country, and these countries should accept them back. And I think they're going to. And this was a great day for the Trump administration as far as not only for these particular migrants, but overall deterrence for people that will be coming in, and those that are here, they're going to want to fight any sort of deportation efforts.
And the Colombian president might just serve as an example to others, right? So not taking your people back, it's not going to be an option. So that, I think, it sets the stage. I just want to show you here. I'm not going to read them all out to everybody, but look on your screen, because these are the number of arrests and actions that have been taken in terms of this action in just week one. And it's quite extraordinary how many people are actually out there and who they can find. Based on your experience, how were they able to do this so quickly? Did they already know where these people were that they wanted to go and get them?
Yes, and this really also just shows what the Biden administration hasn't been doing, because a lot of these people are sitting in local jails. So the people they say lodge detainers on, those are people in jail that the previous administration just didn't even bother to lodge detainers on. And a lot of these other people, they know exactly where they are, and they have known that that's the only reason they were able to get them. But I think a lot of the things this administration is doing, one of the things Stephen Miller talked about, I think on Friday on Fox, was about how they're creating task forces with local law enforcement and all the federal agencies to go after the illegal migrants and criminals. And this is really more than a force multiplier, because this is something the federal government routinely does with drug traffickers, gangs, human traffickers, and you get the experience of the local law enforcement in terms of locating people with the federal expertise of federal law enforcement. So it really is the numbers are going to skyrocket from these numbers, which are already at about 1,000 a day.
Yeah, you see, this is what we said. We already know that the numbers are going to skyrocket, man. All right, and like we said, it's not just so-called Latinos. All right, that's the target. It's going to be you so-called Negroes too. All right, let me get a scripture and we'll finish it out. All right, Psalm 140. Okay, because again, this is the wicked and violent man. All right, and you, Jakes, are about to see that. All right, this is Psalm 140. And 1, and it reads, it says, "Deliver me, O Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man." All right, that's Esau, Edom. "Which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war." See that? Continually are they gathered together for war. Okay, and this is why I said, the Trump deportations and the incoming wrath against you tribes. Okay, continually in his heart, he's prepared for war against you. Right? It says, Psalms 140 and 2, "Which imagine mischiefs in their heart, continually are they gathered together for war." And this is what we're witnessing in this lesson here, in these videos. It says, "They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent, adder's poison is under their lips. Salah. Keep me, O Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent men who have proposed to overthrow my goings." All right. Verse 5, it says, "The proud have hid a snare for me in cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me." Salah, right? And that's those traps going back to these executive orders that are being signed, things that are being these civil rights policies that are being thrown out, the DEI and all of that. Okay, Esau is declaring war against you. All right.
the administration taking some heat for how they are being described as going after folks. Watch Martha Raddatz and Tom Homan this weekend.
How many MS-13 members are the age of 14 to 17? Many of them. So look, if it's a national security threat, public safety threat, and what you need to understand is a case by case. Name another agency, another law enforcement agency that has those type of requirements that they can't walk into a school or a doctor's office or on a medical campus. No other agencies have those standards. ICE officers should have discretion to decide if a national security threat or a public safety threat in one of these facilities, then it should be an option for them to make the arrest.
So, but to keep all of this going, it requires funds in order to make it happen. Watch Senator Graham this weekend.
They're going to deport people who are part of gangs that are criminals. There's 1.4 million who've had their case fully adjudicated.
Who's the gangs? Who's the criminals? Who's the thugs? Who's the T's? You know what I'm talking about? Who makes up that?
And they're still here. There's about 680,000 convicted of serious crimes. To my Republican colleagues, particularly in the House, as we fiddle, our immigration plans are hitting walls. We're not building walls, we're hitting walls.
Last word to you about that point. How quickly do they need these funds in order to keep doing what they're doing?
Well, I think they're going to need funds right away, but at least the most important thing that they're doing right now is by showing this show of force and show of strength, they're deterring new people from coming in. So at least we're stopping the flow, but money is necessary. But keep in mind, it cost $150 billion tax dollars for illegal immigrants to care for them with all their services just last year. So ultimately, whatever we spend, we're probably going to be netting on the other end of it over time.
That's a great point. Jonathan, thanks for being here. I'm sure we'll see you again. Thank you.
There you go, man. So ICE is rolling, man. It's about to get real cold out here. Right now, I'm just want to play this clip again, and we'll wrap it up because I think I might have had some. It was dragging a little bit. I just want to play that again so you can hear what she said. Because hey, you so-called Negroes are gonna be tied up into this too. All right, let's go back to that. I just want to play that again.
Wake this the fuck up. The 14th Amendment and ending birthright citizenship does not just affect recent immigrants to this country. It does not just affect first and second generation immigrants to this country. The 14th Amendment is the amendment that gave Black people citizenship and equal rights and equal protection under the law. The 14th Amendment is what makes the language of the Dred Scott decision null and void. And if you are confused about the language of the Dred Scott decision, the most important part to you as a Black person is that it states that a Black person has no rights that a white person is duty bound to respect. This is not just about immigrants. And you thinking it is proof positive that your ass is still fucking asleep. They are also coming after Loving v. Virginia. And Loving v. Virginia is what made the one-drop rule unconstitutional. Loving v. Virginia is what made it unconstitutional for states to institute racial integrity codes. Once these two things are done away with, there is absolutely nothing stopping them.
Boom. It is even time of Jacob's trouble, man. All right. So, hey, we're going to continue to watch and see how this thing plays out every day. But, hey, just know that you were warned by the prophets first. All right. Pray that this quick lesson was edifying. We'll give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who taught me this truth, and double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring, the house of David, the elect. Is pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect. Shalom.